On this segment, we'll be learning how to go about this beautiful cape. In the last video, I shared how to go about the pattern drafting of the dress, and in that video, I also said that to make this cape is so easy and straightforward. Just some exaggeration on the shoulder, a stovepipe neckline, and your fastener, and your cape is ready. This is something you can make in 30 minutes to 1 hour. And if you think this is hard, wait until we start the pattern drafting. On your pattern paper, you're going to leave a space of about 3 to 4 inches before you mark a border line which will indicate your shoulder line. And you will also mark from your shoulder to your waistline, even though that will not be the length of the cape, but we'll be working with the waistline for this tutorial. Then you will also give about 3 inches to what you usually use to map out the space for your front pattern. Do you understand? Because you'll be needing some allowance on the side seam. So on the shoulder, go ahead and mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. You go down to your chest line and mark them out this way. The next thing now is to mark your standard neck width, and mine is 3. And then I'll be coming down here to 1.5. At this point, you can decide to do just 1 inch shoulder slope or 1.5, depending on what you want. Both of them works. So I did 1.5, and I'll connect it to the neck width the same way you can see me do it. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to get my neck depth, and my neck depth is 3 inches, my standard neck depth. Yeah, so you're marking your standard neck width and your neck depth. Then I'm going to get the angle 90 of this point, or yeah, the angle 90 of this point. Use your protractor on your ruler to get it. Then once I have it, I'm going to connect it like you see me do it here. And then on this line that I connected like this, I'm going to be going up 2 inches. So you can decide to do 2.5, but for this method I'm sharing with this neckline, or for this neckline, I recommend that you do just 2 inches, because the stovepipe neckline is not too high. So 2 inches works. So I will indicate the point, that 2 inches like this, then start from my neck depth, my standard neck depth, and go up 1.5. Please repeat every single thing you see me doing here. Now I'm going to be placing my curve like this and curve it. It should not be too deep nor too shallow. It shouldn't be looking like a slant form. Yeah, just make it curvy but not too curvy. Then you are going to come in here to about half inch or 0.75 or 1 inch. But with this method I shared with this neckline, or for this neckline, you're simply going to place your curve like this and blend this part in, because you do not even need that half inch to blend it in. You only do it when the neckline is too high and you will need some blending in. I'll get my bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line, and on the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4. I'll connect the two with a faint line like you see it like this. Then go ahead and extend this shoulder slope line this way. Just extend it like you see me do it. And once I'm done, I'm going to start from the shoulder tip and go into 5 inches and measure from that point to the center front. Whatever it is I have, I'm going to come from the waistline. From my waist measurement divided by 4, I will go into 4 inches. At this point, you can do 3 to 4 inches from your waist measurement divided by 4. That's the essence of us having the waist measurement here. Then I'm going to be placing my curve and blending this part this way. And whatever you do here depends on how pointy your cape is going to come out. Yeah. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to leave this one like this and come over to the back, because we'll be coming back to get the length of the cape later after doing the back. So on the shoulder line, I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll go down to the chest line, mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 again, then use my ruler to just go ahead and mark it out like I did on the front pattern. That's the shoulder measurement divided by 2 and the chest line. Then I'll mark my standard neck width, come down here to 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and at this point you're going to maintain the same shoulder slope you use for the front. Yeah, if you use 1.5, use 1.5 for the back. If you use 1 inch for the front, use the same 1 inch for the back too, so that you won't have any issues. You will see why I say that later. I'll get the angle 90 of this point too, then connect it like you see me do it here, and on that point I'll go up 2 inches and measure from that point to the shoulder line. Whatever it is I have there, I'm going to come to this center back and mark the same thing, then connect it like this. Next, I'm going to come down from that point to about half inch, place my curve like this, and curve the neckline out this same way you can see me do it here. I recommend that you do that. Do not leave the neckline like that because it will be too high. Then I'll blend in the shoulder slope this same way like I did on the front pattern. Once I'm done with all of that, I'm going to be cleaning off the unwanted part like you see me do it here, and we are going to be getting the dart. The back is going to come with a dart. I know, yeah, there is no dart on the front, but for the back, you will need that for it, and you're going to use your bust span divided by 2. Then for the dart length is 6 inches. You're going to mark the line out this way. Then for the dart intake, I'll be using 1 inch on both sides of the line, which is 2 inches dart intake. Then I'm going to connect it on both sides the same way you usually connect your dart, and it's looking like this. Next, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4 there, plus the 2 inches dart intake. I'll replace it, then indicate it like this. I'll start from that point now and add my 3 inches or 4 inches depending on whichever one you choose to work with, 3 inches or 4 inches. Then I'm going to extend the shoulder slope like you see me do it here. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to just go ahead and mark the same thing I had on the front part. So this at this point I do not need to extend by 5 inches, like mark 5 inches. I just measured what I have on the front and mark that same thing too on the back. Then I'll connect it to the measurement I have on the waist, and of course go ahead and blend it in on this point like you see me do it here. So for blending this part in, you can decide to get the make sure it's on angle 90, that sharp corner, and then you come in there 1 inch or 1.5 or 2 inches depending on how pointy or how exaggerated you want your cape to look. But what you see me doing here is getting the midpoint of this neckline. Measure your neck width or your neck curve for the back, then you get the midpoint, and then you're going to start from your shoulder line and come down to your desired cape length. For what you have on the thumbnail, you can decide to just add 1 inch to your bust point. Let's say your bust point from your shoulder to your bust point is 10 inches. Adding 1 inch to it will make it 11. Then you use that as the length. Then you're going to connect from that midpoint of the neckline like you see me do it here, or better still, you place your ruler like you see me place it like this and connect it, whichever one. But if you're a beginner, I recommend that you connect it in a way that that line will be touching the that apex, the pointy part of the dart, and then you're going to either close the dart the same way you see me indicate there. I'll be showing you. So basically, I just shared 3 methods you can go about the dart. Then I will go ahead and get the length of the front. Yeah, the same length we use for the back, we are using the same length for the front too. Now, what I will do is to go ahead and measure the shoulder line and also the side seam. Just measure from your neck width all the way to the waist side seam this way. And after measuring, the back was longer. You see me going back and forth, trying to figure out where the mistake was. And it was just the shoulder slope. So I used 1.5 for the front shoulder slope. Then for the back, I used 1 inch. You see where the issue was, yeah? So I just decided to just shorten the length on the side like you see me do it. Just mark the extra value on the side like this and blend it back into the center back, and then you go ahead and cut out your pattern like you see me do it here. So after cutting the pattern, this is how you close the dart. Slash this line. If yours is touching the dart apex, it will be easy for you to close. Like, you don't have to worry about it. But if not, you can decide to just slash it like you see me do it here, or the line that I connected upwards while marking the dart, yeah, you can decide to just slash it all the way until you get to the open part of the paper. I don't know if you understand that, but I'm trying to close the dart the same way you see me do it. And right after closing it, I'm going to be blending in the waistline. I'll apply my water glue, place it on a fresh paper this way, then use my ruler to blend in the waistline like you see me do it here. Once that is done, I'm going to be cutting it out, and of course go ahead and open up the dart because you'll be sewing it. After cutting, I'll blend in this part, and this is how much we transferred, and that would help with the shape of the cape. So you just need this dart for the back. For the front can go without that, but for this back, you just have to do your dart for the back. So yeah, you're going to be cutting the center back on fold, then this other part you're cutting times 2 of it, then the front pattern you're cutting times 2 of it. Then you just go ahead and add your allowance, your sewing allowance all around this one, the front pattern here. Then for this one, you will be adding your allowance here all around. Then here you're adding just like this because the center back was cut on fold. So go ahead and transfer this to your fabric, add the necessary allowance. And of course, like I said, you will need a structured fabric for this. Do not use a lightweight fabric. And I'll be seeing you on my next one.